Well, welcome everyone. Again, my name is Tom Carnevale. I'm the founder and CEO of Sentry360. We are very excited today to tell you about our new FullSight multi-sensor immersive camera. There was a lot of months, and actually, now that I think about it, years of planning going into this product. And the way we're introducing it, we want to be unique, and the way we're going to be successful in the market, we feel is also going to be unique. So we're going to cover some of the challenges of legacy panoramic cameras in the industry. We're going to cover just a brief introduction about the facts, the mechanicals, the feature set, the integration capabilities, what the new FSD10 camera can do. And this is an introduction to a new product where most manufacturers, they show it to you via a press release or a trade show booth. If you are planning for ISC West, which is quickly upon us next month, we will have a private viewing of the FSD10. All you have to do is send us an email, and we'll schedule you a session in at contact@sentry360.com. A few housekeeping notes before we jump right in. This is a live webinar, so I do not have a script in front of me. I do not, so there might be some pauses or some ums and ahs. And so this is a live webinar, and the next thing that I want you to feel comfortable with is when the idea strikes you for a question, type it in and submit it. We did want to keep this to around 30 minutes today, okay? So because everyone's has a lot on their plate, typically on Wednesday afternoon. So. Tuesday afternoon. So we want to make sure that all your questions are answered. So if you submit your question through the control panel, you will get a direct email response. We're not going to take a lot of questions at the end live. We're going to just get the answers to you in your inbox. So let's get moving along. So for those of you who are not aware, Sentry360 is a global brand. Our legacy in the industry is one of surrounded by customer support. We're really rooted in being that direct support, that direct manufacturer support to system integrators and distributors in the industry. We have local USA presence, and we also have an office in Dubai and Istanbul with technical support and sales. Overall, we have 12 years of research and development experience around sensors, optics, PCB boards, and surveillance software. In recent years, we've been awarded some fairly exciting prestigious awards. One for Best Panoramic Camera of the Year in 2015, another in 2015 for Best Network Video Surveillance Solution, another one in 2013 for Network Surveillance Cameras, and in 2014 we were honored by the SIA. It's one of 10 awards they give out each year for Best Network Support Solution for our Sentry Edge open platform server switch product. So inherently, let's get into it. The reality is, and out of all the history of video surveillance, there's been a couple different breeds of products which have really laid claim to being the most problematic, right? There's the pan, tilt, and zoom camera, which has a motor in it, which is constantly moving to the left, to the right, up and down on the guard torque. The other is the multi-sensor panoramic. So we believe, which is one of the reasons we've held back from creating our own multi-sensor, is because whenever you have multiple sensors connected to a single processor, it causes more heat. Okay, and so the more heat, the more components on that PCB can fail. Now, it's important to understand that it would be a trickle-down effect. A heat can cause a fan to fail. It can cause an IR cut filter to fail. Anything on that connected to that main PCB, if it's generating too much heat without the proper heat sinks or heat dissipation, can cause failure rates. So we inherently really kind of stayed at arm's length away from designing a anything more than a single sensor solution for that reason. But now, processors are really incredibly changed over the past few years, and based on our testing and due diligence, we feel the time was right to come out with a multi-sensor camera, but our approach is a little bit different. Some other problems you may have experienced or seen throughout the industry is the stitching issue. So that's really a calibration. So maybe if one person is in half the sensor to the north, the bottom part of them is on the south. So they're not lining up. They're not calibrating correctly. Okay? And that can also be a function of the calibration inside the internal camera, or it could be a function of the VMS, the video management software integration. So we've seen a lot of obstacles and challenges over the years of multi-sensor panoramic cameras with integrations with third-party video management. From one being, every sensor is treated independently and licensed independently through a VMS and not at all calibrated through a single panoramic, delivering that kind of sold immersive experience from what you're trying to accomplish, to just plain lack of integration at all. So there's been a lot of issues, none of them I can name in this webinar, but just so we can get to know each other, we have an anonymous poll. Have you heard of any problems with the current state of multi-sensors or in the past? Yes or no? Pretty simple question. I'm launching the poll right now, and I'm going to keep it open for about 20 seconds. And I will share the results with everyone once they come in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, closing the poll and sharing the poll. So it's almost a 60-40 split. 39% say yes, they have experienced a lot of the failures or problems with multi-sensors that we haven't, that we've talked about so far. And 61% have said no, which is also positive, because once you learn a little bit more about ours, we think that you're going to be even more encouraged to continue to use multi-sensor cameras. So about 66% of the voters have actually voted. So thank you very much for your participation, and those are the results. So moving on from that, the FSD10. So this is Sentry360's first dual sensor camera. One sensor is a fixed focal length camera for forensics. The other is what we've commonly seen from Sentry360, a fisheye 360-degree immersive camera. We're incredibly excited to show this to you. So on the left, you're seeing the fisheye image. On the right, you're seeing the fixed. The right is designed for forensic value, right? Capturing license plates, capturing facial details, or enough pixels on target to capture forensic information. 360 on the left is really designed to capture, everything else, right? The situational awareness. And over the years, all types of panoramic cameras, multi-sensor or single sensor, have really been, appropriately marketed as overview cameras. This is to give you a lot of coverage, a lot of real estate to cover with one device. Okay, and so we think in the FSD10 we are getting kind of the best of both worlds: that forensic value to capture license plates and faces, and then the situational awareness synchronized in one stream. Okay, so now let's kind of look at this from a design perspective view. So on the right, you're seeing, two 360 cameras mounted on a corner, which would be great for the situational awareness, seeing the traffic that comes in and out or around that part of the building. On the left, you're getting the entrance point. So this is where we really want to be clearly showing license plates or identifiable characteristics of people approaching our building. In the middle, you're getting the best of both worlds. You're getting that forensic value and the situational value without the need of a pan, tilt, and zoom camera that could be on a guard tour pointing in the wrong direction, or multiple fixed cameras with overlapping fields of view, which could cause multiple cable runs and multiple channels on your video management software system. So let's drill down a little bit deeper into the features. So each camera lens has digital pan, tilt, zoom, whereas the 360 actually has in-camera or client-side dewarping, so a full correction of the 360 field of view. Each sensor has wide dynamic range. So the dB rating is over 100. It's about 120 dB rated on both sensors. Two 5-megapixel sensors are each. So one is a 5-megapixel fixed directional. The other is a 5-megapixel 360 fisheye. Both have an automatic IR cut filter, which will adapt to low light scenarios. It has one internal input for SD card, and we tested up to 128 gigabytes of storage. And then two 3-axis gimbals. So technically 6-axis gimbals. Now, we have a little video that we created here. So if you look, you can pan, tilt, and zoom. You can use the fisheye for a 180-degree view, 180-degree corrected panoramic shot, and then a single sensor shot going from the back. You literally have 6 different ways you can configure the camera. Okay. So now we're going to show you a little bit future details. So now the profile S of OnVIF is very important. So years ago when OnVIF was really starting, there was OnVIF version 1, then there was OnVIF version 2.1 and version 2.2, right? And that was about a 4 to 5 year period, if everyone remembers. Now, the problem was motion detection was not ever included into those first few versions. And so although it was great to get the native stream to the video management system without a direct API integration, everyone needs to record on video motion detection. Well, here enters Profile S. And OnVIF Profile S for the past 3, I'd say 4 years, has been the de facto compliant stream for all Internet Protocol cameras. And so we've had a lot of product launches, including body-worn recently, that include OnVIF Profile S. And OnVIF actually gives developers like us our own testing tool. So as we're developing the product, we can test its conformancy on our own before we release it to the market, and then OnVIF does a verification test as well. So we're very proud to say out of the box it is OnVIF Profile S compliant, and that is both the streams. IK10 vandal-proof. So this is a vandal-proof environmental dome. IP66 weather-rated. So in harsh environments, it can stand in pole mounting or corners of buildings. It will be very effective as well. And this is probably one of the most important attributes of this camera. We did not want to release something new or novel to the market without it having backwards compatibility within the ecosystem that we created. Sentry360, if there's one thing we're known for, it is the client-side dewarping algorithm for a 360-degree camera. So we are the only full-fledged megapixel camera manufacturer that has the most integrated software development kit for fisheye dewarping. Okay, so what that means is that it is backwards compatible with the likes of Genetec, Milestone, Immersive, ONSSI, Exact, and the list goes on and on. And we actually took this as an opportunity to show you right now how some of it works. So here is a interface with Milestone XPertrect Client 2014. So that's the software version that we're using. Just that we dated back the software just so that you can even see that the SDK works with it. So this is one stream coming out of the camera. So you have the 360 on the left and the fixed on the right. So simultaneously, the cameras are in sync. You can digitally zoom into the fixed camera if you'd like, and then you can dewarp the fisheye view in a quad, single panoramic, or single virtual camera as well. Next, we have a screenshot of Exact. So this is the Exact client using our FSD10. One stream again. So remember, this is one IP address. So both of these images are coming on one IP address. So when you configure it into your VMS and then you apply the Sentry360 SDK, you're only calibrating the left image. the right image you're leaving alone, the right section of the single image you're leaving alone. And then that way you can actually have a quad view. The one view on the top is the top left-hand version, and you can have virtual PTZs of the fisheye in 3 other areas. So here's some more forensic value shots from the fisheye and the fixed image. You can see people, both near and far in the hallway. This is where we do some of our testing. And then lens options. This is also an important characteristic. We have 4 different lens options for different forensic values. So if a ceiling height is about 8 feet high and you want to see something that's 10 feet away, a 4mm lens will give you enough pixels on target to get forensic captured 40 pixels per foot. Now, if you want to go down farther in a hallway, you might want to think about a 6mm or an 8mm, or even for outdoor applications, a 12mm. So you have an adjustable lens that you can use for different applications, which really comes in handy. So to kind of recap everything, I think before we do that, we're going to do one more. Nope, actually it only gave me the 1 poll. So 39% have had problems with existing multi-sensor. So to do a final overview here, 1 IP address coming out of the camera, 1 configurable bit rate, okay, 1 image coming to your VMS, not multiple images you need to configure, and backwards compatible to your current video management system. So again, we're happy to show you a one-on-one demonstration footage, or when we actually have some when we launch the product officially in about 30 days from now, we're going to be displaying a bunch of different video management footage through Immersive, through Exact, through Milestone, Genetech, and the list goes on and on. We want to get this product because we think it's one of our best products we've ever created. We want to get it out in the market in the hands of as many channel partners as possible. And aside from being the Oprah of the surveillance industry, which we are not, this is the closest we can do, is a 70% off. Anyone that types in the code 70FSD10 in the subject line of an email to contact@Sentry360 will be on the short list to receive a camera at 70% off. And here's a few little conditions. Number 1, we can have to limit this to 1 per company. Number 2, it cannot be resold. We want to get this in as many hands as possible because we think this is one of the most innovative multi-sensor cameras to hit the market to date. And this should only be used for testing and demonstration for system integrators and distributors to earn new business. So, Sentry360 sells indirectly through a channel. Our philosophy is never to publish online pricing. If you are looking for pricing, we are ready to share that right now. Just send us an email at contact@Sentry360. We have about 15 questions that came in, and every single one of you will get a response by this evening. But that's it for today. We're just doing a brief introduction of the FSD10. We hope you are as excited about the new product launch as we are. And remember, if you are going to ISC West, please schedule an appointment with us. Simply send us a note at contact@Sentry360.com, and we will see you in Las Vegas. Have a great rest of your evening. Bye for now.